Welcome to Living Globally, an educational role-playing board game that explores the complex connections between sustainability, cultural diversity, and our shared responsibility for the planet. Each player takes on the role of a character from a different part of the world, navigating challenges and making decisions that impact others. Through collaboration, negotiation, and critical thinking, players experience how individual choices can impact communities near and far. The game is designed to promote empathy, cooperation, and a deeper understanding of global issues through engaging scenario-based gameplay. But there is a catch. If the Earth becomes too polluted, everyone loses. A player may be recognized for contributing the least CO2 emissions, but there are no winners if we lose our planet. In this video, we will walk you through the key elements of the game to help you get started and make the most of your experience. So this is the setup of the game, where you can see that there is an entire board here with certain designs on it. There are cards for the roles that we are going to get by the playing. There are the upgrade cards, and they are divided in two stacks, on which ones you can see that there is labeled 2 up. That means that once we reach the second stage of the game, then we are going to introduce those cards. Additionally, in the game, we can find the upgrades items that are actually presented in the upgrades cards that we are going to buy and to proceed with further on. And on the board itself, we are going to label our influence that we are going to make by purchasing any of the items from the upgrades that we are having here. So, at the beginning, we are starting with 100 globals because we already have settled up our lives in our houses that are existing there. And also, and this is our income that is there that we are receiving per every round. And there is a CO2 emissions that we already have somehow produced with our life, which are going to actually be changed during our choices that we are going to make throughout the game. In order to be able to purchase the items that we want to use for our upgrades of the lives, we need the money, and the money here are named globals, as we can see. And also, we are going to follow up with some additional achievements and rewards based on the challenges that we have to solve during the game. On top of everything, after we have purchased everything and everything has been already done, since the first level of our game, we are going to label our global CO2 emissions that are going to be produced by the choices that everybody has made throughout our life. So from there on, all of the players are randomly receiving their own role that will be somehow chosen. They are not allowed to choose it, and they are going to read, and all of us are going to read the challenges that we have to achieve based on the stages that are labeled there. When we are in stage 1, as we are just beginning the game, we are reading only the first challenge that we are having here and the random character that we have received, which in this case says that I'm Lucy Taylor and that I want to increase my wealth, I want to keep investing without worrying about the consequences, and my goal at this level is to earn an income of more than 130 globals. That means that the income that I'm having here for each level that I'm going to get will be more than 130 globals. Here, there is a description of the personality in this stage of the play, where we can see that I'm pretty trendy, mostly material, and I'm also skeptic. I'm totally not worried about the eco aspects of my living, so I'm going to do the choices accordingly to my character here. From there on, each of the other players are choosing their characters, and we are going to proceed on choosing our upgrade items for our living. So after each player got their character and they have read the challenges that they have to meet, they have chosen their house. Usually it's the one that is nearest to us, so player 1 is going to take this house that is nearest to myself, and with that also be represented by the gray cube, which is going to label the movements on the both scales that we have for CO2 and for the money and the income that we are receiving. From there on, each player from the bank, actually here, it's receiving 300 globals with the money that have been received as an initial income that they are already having as a cash budget. They will be able to actually purchase the upgrade items from the upgrade cards according to the challenges that they have to reach on their personality, as well as on the challenges that are coming later on the game. So, as a first player in the game, now, according to my goal that I have to achieve in this one, I should be able to choose some of the upgrade items. All of the upgrade items are divided in 3 sections, and actually in each card there are 3 options from which I can purchase based on my preferences and based on the challenge that I need to reach here. All of those are labeled accordingly what is the item that I'm purchasing for my upgrade of the my lifestyle and my living, and what type of purchase is that, only for informative reasons that doesn't have any influence of the game. However, the main things that we need to see and that according to which we are deciding are the globals and the CO2 emissions that we are going to produce. The initial number of globals is the one that we have to pay with the cash cards, with the cash globals that we are having, while the long-term ones are those that are influencing our round income that we are labeling with our cubes on the scale on the board itself. On the other side, the CO2 emissions, the initial ones, are those that we are going to influence our environment, and actually the global CO2 number, the unit that we are going to move here on the global counter, while the long-term ones are those that are influencing our lifestyle and the one that we are labeling on the scale for CO2 that we are having here. So based on my personality from this card, I would like to earn some money. Therefore, I will choose the thermal power electricity, because I also don't care about the environment and I'm not eco at all. So from here, I don't have to invest any budget, any cash money. There is no influence also on my long-term income that I'm receiving, but I'm influencing the global CO2 emissions with a unit of 8 CO2. That is moved here on the global counter, and we can see that also on the long-term level, I'm increasing my emissions for 1 unit, and that is 31, because the base that where we started was 30. From there on, I'm taking this card with me. I'm taking the thermal power station from the items of the upgrades that we are having, and I can place it randomly somewhere on the board, because thermal power is not something that we are keeping in our garden, but it's something that is far away from our living. From there on, player 2, it's going to decide for their upgrade items.
According to these options, which are always buying new, annual shopping and second hand, and my personality, I believe I should choose the second hand option as an option for this round.
For that, you are going to have an influence on your income, which is going to increase by 10 globals, and with that, you are taking which color?
I'm taking the color blue.
And you're receiving 10 globals more. You're increasing your income for 10 globals, and you're also decreasing your personal influence of CO2 by 2 units. With that, we can proceed with the third layer. The choices are made randomly. You don't need to go in the line, but you can take whatever of the upgrade is fitting in your role.
My character. I will choose this one. So I guess that I will be buying the latest on this card.
Yeah.
On this card, considering my character.
So for that, you have influence on everything, and this is very good example that we can see. So now, in order to purchase what you want, this is that you have to pay initial amount of 40 globals, and those money are going to the bank. You're receiving a return. Then you are influencing the initial CO2 emissions for 3, which now it's 8, and when we increase it by 3, it becomes 11. From there on, you are increasing your personal CO2 emissions for 3 also.
I choose black.
And you are going to 33. And additionally, you are decreasing your round income by 20. So from here, we are decreasing it for 20 globals. One line, it's representing 10 globals. Based on that, we are decreasing it 20, and from here, from the upgrade items, you can find your respective label. After the choice has been made and all the items have been put on the board as well as calculated accordingly, we are proceeding with the player 4. Exactly, self-sufficient is something that we're seeing for the first time, and this is actually labeled also on certain cards of the upgrade items, not on everyone. And there are small labels that we can see, which are in different designs. And the self-sufficient one is the one actually that is providing us a life like that, and we can see it labeled on the cards accordingly from the ones where we can only purchase those items. Not all of the cards are providing it, so based on that we have enough time in all this game to find, or maybe if we are not lucky enough, we won't be able to purchase any of the goods. Now it's the turn on the player 4 to decide from what of the leftovers it's the best idea to purchase in order to fulfill their potential.
There are no options that are self-sufficient to buy, so I will buy something else, and at the moment it will be the bicycle.
Okay.
The electric bike.
Yeah. For buying the bicycle, you need to pay 50 globals to the bank.
There it go.
After which you are actually influencing the global CO2 emissions with 3, so it becomes 14. No, the below one. So here we already have the 14 CO2 emissions. On the long term, you are going to earn because you have saved for the gas and for the maintenance of the car. Therefore, you will have savings per round from which you can earn next round more, and that is additional 10 globals. And you are decreasing your CO2 emission, your personal one, for 4 units because the electric bike is a green option that we can have. From there on, you can find it in the upgrade items and park it in your garage accordingly. After all the choices has been made, we have one upgrade card left, which we return in the stack down, and we proceed with the next stage of play, and that is actually taking one of the cards from the action and events cards. As all of us are going to draw a card, we are going to read it. The action cards are the cards that we are keeping for ourselves, and we decide if we want to share it in public at the moment of reading, and if we want to apply it at the moment, because those are only related to our personality, while the event cards are the ones that are influencing us all. So the event cards read all aloud, and then we have to act accordingly to the event that has actually occurred. I'm taking first, and all the rest please take one. All the action cards also are having a description. Sometimes it's only a comic, and sometimes it's very serious. It depends on the content. That's how we are going to behave. So in my case, I got an action, and this is something that is only influencing myself. It says that I have replaced the plastic straws with reusable ones in my daily life, for which I have saved 10 globals, and my CO2 emission has decreased by 2 units. Meaning that I'm also, in my income, I have saved 10 globals, for which my income is now increasing, and my CO2 emission, the personal one, because this is a personal choice, has decreased for 2. With that one, I'm going back to 29 CO2 emissions on personal level, because I have decided to implement this card immediately. All the rest of the players are proceeding with their decisions, if they want to read the card or not, and the one that having the event, it's going to read it aloud.
Okay, we can read all the cards, if you will. So I have the action card. It says you have repaired the park bench together with one other player. Choose who has helped you and share the gift of total 40 globals from the city government with your helper. And in this case, I would choose the poorest player, which is at the moment player number 3.
The money are coming from the bank, and they are divided accordingly and shared among the participants that they have chosen.
Yes, and the CO2 remains at 0, so that has not been changed.
Yeah, the cards are staying in our stack, we keep it for ourselves, and just proceed with the other players.
The action is for selling textile bags, and every bag is sold for 20 globals, while the global CO2 is decreased for 2. So in this case, I would like to offer my bags to the remaining players. I would like to say that by using these bags, you will avoid buying many plastic bags, and you can use them for multiple purposes. So who would like to buy a bag of mine?
Additionally, take into consideration that already our global CO2 emissions are 14. That doesn't seem too high at the moment, but if we do purchase a bag from this, we are going to decrease it, and we are also then avoiding or preventing reaching the highest units of CO2 that can be in the game, from which we can actually die and nobody can win this game.
Right, I would like to buy one bag.
Okay, in this case, I will find one bag for you.
You won't find it from there.
Thank you so much. And what was the
The
price?
cost was 20 plus.
And those go to the...
To her, because she has produced it.
Yeah.
The
Anyone
player
else
that can
would
produce
like to
it.
buy a bag?
No, I want to use plastic ones.
And from there on, we are decreasing the global CO2 emissions for 2. With that one, we are left with the last card, which is the event.
Yeah, it's the event, and it says luxury tax. Luxury tax has been introduced. Those possessing luxurious upgrade item should pay 200 globals per item.
As already shown, the luxury item, it is labeled on the card with its label, and here in this case, the player number 3 is living a luxurious life for which they have to pay the tax. Thank you very much. The money are going to the bank, and with that we have closed the circle of choosing things, and now it is remaining to calculate the total CO2 emissions that we have produced by purchasing all of the items, by the events that have occurred, and by the actions that we have taken from the cards that are there. From there, we are taking the total number of the CO2 emissions of all of us, and we are adding it up to the existent CO2 emissions on the global counter. So the total amount of the CO2 emissions that we have produced from all of the players is 116 units, and that is add up on the already existing 12 units, so that becomes 128. From there on, if we take into consideration that the highest amount that we can reach is 900 CO2 emissions, means that we are already getting pretty close, even from after the first round, for which we can now be more aware for our choices that we are going to make, but still trying to accomplish our achievements. From there on, the second round is starting, and the second round now starts with player 2. We are opening the new upgrade item cards, but in this round we are also introducing a challenge per round, which is going to award us with an achievement card, for which we have to be careful if we want to actually win in the game. If we accomplish to win the highest number of achievement cards and award cards, which are the ones given after the stage of after each stage of the gameplay for the roles, then we are going to win the game. If we are not able to keep the CO2 emissions below 900, but we overachieve those levels, then nobody will actually win the game. From here on, player 2 is repeating, all the players are repeating all the same actions as in round 1, but only taking a look and also paying attention if it is possible to achieve the challenge to possess the highest number of luxurious upgrades. From there on, we just approach to choosing the new upgrade items for our house. Before proceeding with the choices for the upgrade items for each player, the round income is given to each player based on the level that they have achieved here. So if we do have 110 globals, then we are giving to the player the 110 from the bank as it's such, and accordingly to the rest of the amounts to each of the other players. The decisions have already been made, and we are proceeding with drawing the cards. Again, each player is taking a card. In this case, we don't have any event, so the players are deciding how they are going to proceed with the actions, if they are going to keep it for themselves and apply it later on in the game, or if they are going to read it aloud now and they proceed with the action immediately. As we are done with that one, then we are checking which of the players have achieved the round challenge, which is possessing the highest amount of luxurious goods, and in this case it's the black player or the player having two luxurious items that are labeled on the card itself. So even though in this case player 1 also have chosen a luxurious good, that doesn't mean that the achievement is achieved due to the better choices that the other player has done for this round. From there on, we again calculate the total amount of CO2 emissions that has been conducted by the players, and we add up to the global count. After the 3 rounds have been finished and all the steps has been taken accordingly, we can see on the global counter that our game is already progressing and that we are actually making a higher influence on the CO2 emissions. From there on, we can notice from the action and event card that we have reached the stage 2, for which we now are introducing the second and upgrade items, put it in the stack, mix the stack accordingly, and from there on open up again the cards that can be chosen for this one. Now we are turning the page of the personality, where we can see the description and the challenge that needs to be reached in the stage 2. Now accordingly, as well as we have progressed in the game, and as also we have made some influence into CO2 emission, our personality it's changing a bit. So in the case of Lucy Taylor, she's becoming less trendy, but still she's keeping her skeptic approach, and her materialistic now opinion it's also changing and it's increasing. And in this case, she needs to absolutely want to have the highest income of all the players that are there. Based on the achievements that have been reached in the stage 1, each of the player that has achieved their goals are receiving the award card, and that award card is counted for 2 points, which together with the achievement card additionally will have the influence at the end of the game. From stage 2, everything else continues to be repeated until we are constantly following the global counter, and we are progressing with the game up to the 900 global CO2 emissions. If we are able to keep it below the last level or the 9th level, then there will be a winner which actually is possessing the highest number of achievements and awards. If we are overcoming that number and we have achieved CO2 emissions above 900, there is no winner in the game, and we have burned everything, so we also haven't survived the planet. Important points that need to be remembered and paid attention on are the cases when we do have a personality with a certain goal to be reached, but there are cases where we are not able to fulfill it in the round that we are playing, and we can't find our upgrade item that is actually matching our personality goal. So we still do have to make some choices, and that we are going to do the choice according to our interest or our belief. And further on, we can only hope that in the next round we will be lucky enough to have an available upgrade item that can be purchased. It is also important to remember that each of the player in each of the round is drawing one of the cards, and that the events that are happening are applicable to all the players that are fulfilling the conditions mentioned in the events. And the action cards are those where we are deciding for our personal life and how we are going to proceed, either if we are going to do it at the moment or we are going to save it for later on. So we can win awards, we can share some events with the other players celebrating, and also we can sell things. When it says, like for example, that we have grown some plants and we want to sell them, it means we do need to negotiate with the other players and to convince them why our products are a good choice for buying, and then take the money from them, but also altogether influence to the CO2 emissions that we are making, either individually or on the global level. From there on, regardless of the choices that we are making and what opportunities we did have, we need to follow our goal if we want to win an award. And after the first stage, after each stage is finished, which means 3 rounds, which we will notice from the action and event card, each player that has fulfilled their goal are receiving the award card. The achievement cards are those that are introduced from the second stage on, where from the second round on, and on each round we do have a challenge that we need to fulfill, and each of the players that has fulfilled that achievement is receiving accordingly their award. At the end, if we manage to keep the global CO2 counter below 800, then the player with the highest number of achievements and awards is the winner. In case we have reached above 900, nobody has survived. Accordingly, there is no winner in the game. Thank you for your attention. I hope you liked the presentation and the game itself. If you want to play the game or maybe discuss further concepts, you can find more information on the links below.